what is up? Just made it to Germany, and second I got here, had to grab some dinner. That was like, honestly, 10 out of 10. I mean, I've been to very few places that have had that level of quality. I was really just looking for a super authentic local cuisine, and I just got this like massive schnitzel, which was so good. And then when I first got here, I was really impressed by like the amount of like organic grocery stores around that just have so many options, and whatever. I could go on and on about that stuff, but I had like the best tasting milk of my life because I was like starving. I was like, what can I like drink? And I got that before dinner, like when I first got here, and did a little bit of walking, had dinner, of course. Best water I've ever had as well. I forget the exact pronunciation of it, Gerolsteiner or something like that. It's basically just a super high mineral water from Germany, and it's made it to the US. It's gaining popularity just because it's so good. But already super impressed with Munich, and I'll be in Munich for tomorrow as well. Then kind of deciding, do I want to do a day trip on Saturday or stay one more day? So I guess I'll have tomorrow to figure that out. I might go to Austria, to a city called Salzburg, which is actually not too far from here, to get a taste of that as well. But there's so many things I want to do tomorrow and feel out here in Germany. So really excited for that, but I'm just gonna go to bed now because it's pretty late here, and then pick back up tomorrow, so yeah. Good morning. So just thought the best I had in like months for some reason. That bed was just so comfortable. It's a pretty nice little spot as well. So now I actually chose to go, there's a little river that goes across the city, and I actually chose to be across from it, which is a little bit outside the main kind of touristy area. And it's a nice little kind of green neighborhood alongside the river. Like I can literally see the river from my window, and I thought that'd be a good little spot. So all I need to do is hop like 5-10 minutes and then I'm into where everything is. So really happy with that decision so far. Now I think usually when I'm traveling to these cities on my own, especially, I'm like up and just wired from the beginning because there's just so much to see in the little amount of time that I have. But from the research that I've had and the people that I've talked to, Munich is apparently very compact in like the actual sites in the old town. So I'm not too stressed about it this morning, just kind of relax and just gonna try to enjoy it way more. And I think I've needed to work on that especially. So I'm gonna take my time and check this out and see what it's all about. So I kind of stumbled across that trendy little spot and it had like an elite acai bowl. So really happy about that. Got talking to these two German girls who were like around my age, who were really nice. Everyone's been really nice here. They were talking about how Germans have a reputation for being kind of rude, but I haven't noticed that. So they were giving me some recommendations, which I'll definitely check out. But yeah, I just tried a pretzel, and that was pretty insane too. Obviously I've had a lot of pretzels before, but something about the way they make it here, it's like there's no strong flavor involved in it. It's just it's a very simple thing, and they do it very well. And then it has that kind of salt drizzled on it. It's incredible. I'll definitely be eating a lot of those while I'm here. They were also describing to me like the differences between all of the German cities and how Munich kind of has that trendy young person atmosphere to it. And if you go to like Berlin, for example, or Frankfurt, it's a lot more like gritty and people are just different. And so I'm glad I chose Munich because it seems to be like the most polished version, and it's been really great.
I'm just here wasting time.
so back at the Airbnb, my phone was like literally dying. And so I made it back with like 1%. And so I had to come back, but I had to get on one of those Lime scooters to make it in time, which was like actually kind of fun, but a bit of a humiliation ritual, I feel like. But anyway, yeah, so that was mainly just like the old town and the main center called Marienplatz. That's probably the wrong way to pronounce it. And I'm not even gonna try to pronounce all those other sites like the churches and those other buildings, but a lot of cool architecture and actually a pretty laid back vibe for being a big city and it being really nice and warm out. Nothing like too crazy or like overstimulating. So I really liked that part. It seemed like everyone, at least the locals, were like pretty laid back. And also that market was really cool. Varian Market? I don't even know. It's in there. But yeah, so that was really cool. It was literally like a ton of different stands selling all these boutique little homemade foods. And it was just like the coolest farmer's market I've ever been to. So that was really impressive. And yeah, it just kind of has hit all fronts, really impressive. So now that I've seen also kind of like the main touristy things in the old town, I do want to go more into that like ginormous park that I did kind of touch on at the end there on my way back, which is really cool. And there's a ton of people out in the sun, especially now it's good weather, and there's a river that goes through it. And then there's like outdoor beer gardens. So I'm gonna do that probably for lunch like on Sunday. And then, if I don't go on a day trip, and then from there, but now I think I'm gonna head to, after I take a shower or whatever, I'm gonna head to Hofbrauhaus, which is like the world famous beer hall. And I'll probably try beer and see what it's all about maybe, but they also have dinner, so I'm gonna do that. And apparently it's a pretty crazy environment. And I don't know, it's just one of those things like, this is a solo trip. This is like my last solo trip. So I don't know, like I don't love to like go to like restaurants just like by myself, whatever. Like that market that I just went to was really cool because you can just like grab whatever and eat. And I grabbed like this juice, which was really good as well. But like sit down restaurants, I feel like are just better when you're with people, obviously. But I'll see. Apparently like the style is, it's just huge tables and you just sit down and you eat. So maybe I'll meet some people like I did this morning. But yeah, I'm gonna try that and we'll see. All right, so sitting here on the balcony, I think I might have actually gotten like a bit of a tan here because it was really sunny all day, but my lips are just absolutely fried. It feels like they're about to fall off, so I gotta find like something for that. But actually, like, there's a lot of German like skincare stuff, like Weleda and like Dr. Haus. I cannot like pronounce anything in German. It's just so different for some reason to me. But like if I go to Italy, if I go to Spain, if I go to Portugal, it's like a similar dialect, similar like letters and stuff, but German just pronounce things just so differently. And even like the lettering, things like that, just doesn't click. But yeah, I feel like the day started off super chill, and I was just in like a really relaxed state. And then like progressively, I just started to flip out randomly. I don't know, I was getting like this weird anxious feeling about like finding the right restaurant, the right like place. It's just like, at some times, especially when I'm like just traveling on my own, like these 3 trips that I've done, like when you have no one to like bounce ideas off of or like talk to and just make a decision, sometimes you can just get in your own head. And I don't know if it's just me, but you start to just like overthink and think like, again, like how do I optimize this scenario to like get the most out of this like trip? Like it's like too much, like just come back and like chill for a second. I don't know, like I have this weird mindset of like trying to see everything that I can at all moments. And then if I'm going to like a restaurant, it's like, sometimes I feel like I can't just like walk into a spot. I have to like look at all the reviews and then like see if it's like, hitting a certain like level. And it's just like, sometimes you have to go with the flow. And I've gotten a lot better at that. And I do that at a lot of the time. But sometimes I just get in these weird moods of like being anxious about getting the most out of a situation, when in reality, maybe you're just ruining the experience more than you would if you would just went with something and just made the decision. So like just trying to be decisive with stuff like that is just so much more important. I think also when you're like just by yourself and you have like maybe 2 days, 1.5 full days, whatever, in a certain city, and it's just a weekend trip, it's like there's so many things that I want to do that I always feel like I'm like on the go and I'm trying to maximize that time. And in reality, there's no way to like know a city. Even if you lived in a city for like 6 months, there's still gonna be parts that you just don't know. And so it's just like trying to step back and like enjoy it. I used to plan out my trips. I'd go like, this is what I'm gonna do by the hour. I'm gonna get here, I'm gonna eat at this place, and then I'm gonna walk down this exact like street to like try to optimize like the ideal scenario of a full day. And now I've like taken a step back from that. Like for this trip especially, I just had a bunch of spots that I like had on my list that I wanted to hit. And then I just like walked towards them, saw them, and then opened my map, went to the next one, and things like that. And so like I definitely had to learn how to chill, because I think my personality sometimes, and I don't think I was always like this when I was younger. High school was definitely not like this, but as I've gotten older, I've had this like weird mindset of like optimization, and it's really helped me in terms of like school or like with my career. And I know it'll help me down the line with professional stuff, things like that, because I'm so like on the ball about things. But when you're on like vacation or like trying to travel and enjoy yourself in like a new place, it's probably like one of the worst ways to be. And so at least I can say that I've seen everything and I'm like experiencing everything. But yeah, I don't know, there's like a good balance I feel like you have to have. But yeah, I've just been chilling for like an hour, about to go head out for dinner. But like, I'm really just thinking, like Munich so far, it's only been a day. I've decided I'm not gonna go anywhere. I'm gonna stay here tomorrow as well, because there's still so much more I wanna see. all the World War II history, the BMW museum, which is apparently really insane. Like the manufacturing, obviously the car manufacturing in Germany is like top tier. You got Mercedes, you got BMW, you got Audi, you got Volkswagen, Porsche. So, I mean, I don't know how they really rose to the top and became so elite in that level. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, and then that's right beside like the Olympic Museum, and the 1972 Olympics, I want to say, were held there. And so there's like the swimming pools, the track, which I really want to see as well, because I have my own personal history in track a little bit. So I want to check those out. And then there's some other points of interest as well. Then there's like all these gardens, more like a big park that I kind of touched on earlier that has like these beer halls, whatever. I think I said that already. But yeah, still so much more to do. But so far, like Munich kind of like had some bests in like many regards. Like I said, best water I've ever had, the best milk I've ever had, the best like farmer's market. That market that I was showing was like the most insane variety of, I mean, obviously it's like only German food, but variety of German food, the quality everywhere you go is very established, very put together, very clean and nice. I really haven't noticed any issues with like any kind of grittiness, any rough around the edges, if I may say, and so far in the city. But yeah, I'm just gonna go get dinner in a beer hall, and then we'll see how that is. Okay, so back to the B&B, and yeah, I did some wandering there, but for dinner, I went to this classic kind of beer hall that was like authentic Bavarian, which is Bavarian is the region, Bavaria, that Munich is in, of Germany, and got what was like the butcher's platter, which was just like an assortment of sausages, all the different types that they have, and each one almost tasted like trying a whole different type of meat. It was pretty crazy. So I had that, and then Spätzle, which is like their type of noodle. It's kind of like almost like mac and cheese, but it doesn't have dairy, I think. So it's kind of interesting. It was pretty good, and I was most impressed with that. And then after, I got the apple strudel, which is basically just like an apple pie that comes hot with like ice cream on the side. So that was really good. I had to try that. And then yeah, but it was cool because these beer halls, and I went to another one called Hofbrauhaus, which is like even more famous. It's like the quintessential place. You come to Munich and you go there, and it's really, these are just like called beer halls, and you're going in, and it's just like these long communal tables, and you just meet people, you get talking to people. At dinner, I got talking to some German people who were telling me about, you know, all these different types of things, and I'm learning things that I never would have. And these are the perks of going by yourself as well. You know, you kind of dictate, and people are more, you're more approachable to people, I think, as well. But yeah, just good conversations with people and kind of learning more about their culture, which is, and their perception of the US, which is really interesting. And then, but yeah, the Hofbrauhaus, the place that I went to after that, had all the music and stuff. Again, like they have like these famous like wheat beer that's basically like tastes really good, and like it's just something you have to try when you're here. And yeah, the traditional music. And I was so surprised, people like actually wear the lederhosen, like those shorts, especially the men, like walking around the city. You can just like see it even at night. I mean, it's like still, it's not winter anymore, but it's still not warm, and they're just wearing the shorts walking around like at night. That was pretty interesting. I didn't think that was actually a thing, but yeah, and it seems like, and I was kind of walking around what's more like the young, trendy spot of the city on the way back to my where I'm staying, and it seemed that there's kind of a cool little nightlife bar scene for like college age people, and I can't really like explore that too much. I'm just on my own, but I did walk around and like talk to some people. But yeah, I mean, like a lot of the conversations I start, people with like, you know, maybe I'm in front of like a landmark and I just pick someone that like looks my age because they're gonna take like the best pictures, and so then you just like get starting to talk to them, and then you meet cool people or whatever. But yeah, so tomorrow I'm just gonna do some more exploring. There's some things I want to check off, and so pretty excited about that. But yeah. Good morning. So Saturday, I am currently just walking to a little organic supermarket to try to like just pick something light up before I do a little calisthenics workout, which I'm kind of excited about. I haven't worked out at all during any of my trips because I'm only in places for like 3 days at a time. But since I'm only staying in one city, I feel like I can be a little more relaxed in my approach. So I'm gonna do that. Only be like 30 minutes. Just do something quick, just to keep the progress going. And then we'll see where I head after that. But the only reason I'm doing it is because it's outside and it's on the river, which should be pretty cool. So I'll kind of see that area all in one. So it's like killing two birds with one stone, but yeah, we'll see. So just stopped by like this grocery store and they just had this waiting for me, which is raw milk in glass, just in the grocery store. Never seen that before. I mean, Munich is really impressing me every day. So got my fuel before a little workout. It's really all I need. It kind of reminds me of when I used to have to train for track, like every day, especially when I was traveling. Like I passed this track and I was like, oh, I remember when I used to have to like wake up every day and go find a track in like Italy, in like Venice. I'd have to like go across different islands, I remember, and then go work out on this track. I mean, running was really cool because you can experience a lot of different places and cities just by running around them. You know, if I have to do an 8-mile run, you can see a lot in 8 miles. And then also, I always found it really cool to like experience different tracks in different areas. But yeah, just gonna hit this little workout and then get on with it. So yeah, I just finished up. Really cool spot, kind of in like a little, just along the river, in kind of like a forest-like setting, which is cool. Lots of equipment. I love places like that. That's like my dream. And a lot of people like kind of out and about. But yeah, just kind of did my standard thing that I usually do, which is supersetting pull-ups and dips, and then doing chin-ups and push-ups. And that's what I used to do like this past summer before I even started like lifting weights. And I feel like I built a lot of strength that way. And if anyone wants to start like actually lifting, I would always say to do that because I feel like I lift way more than my body weight. I mean, I'm like 6'1", just in like low 160s now, and I'll be lifting more than some people who are a lot heavier and have made progress really fast because I think I mastered like my own body weight first. So like that was good, just so I don't like lose gains when I'm traveling, and it's good to like get a little workout in. But yeah, it's always fun as well to kind of tap into each city's kind of wellness and health scene. Like in some of the places I am going to like shop and check out, and then like working out. Every city kind of has like a different way of going about it, which is really cool, and I like to just kind of see. So definitely stepped into more like the local side of the city here, which is closer to where I was working out by the river, and went to that grocery store. I mean, there's just so many of them across the city, and I just like had to show up because I was like, and you can't really see from the videos like everything that's in there, but trust me, like if we had those in America, I'd be there every day. I mean, these things just like blow Whole Foods, you know, out of the water, and these like bigger grocery chains, because like everything in there is organic, everything, and everything's like very clean, even like the skin products, there's no like bad stuff, it's all high quality. And I mean, where else can you just buy that kind of thing just very readily available? Usually I have to go to like 5 different places to get that. So hit a little bike ride across the city, kind of through like the residential area to get here, which is the Nymphenburg Palace, and then the Schloss Garden, something along those lines. And it was basically what the rulers of Bavaria, which is this region, which includes Munich, used to live, and it's really impressive. This park is just like absolutely massive, and it's not even considered a park. It's considered like part of the royal residence. And there's just all these little castles like scattered around it. I mean, you could spend literally hours walking around this place. So apparently the king, it was built as like a summer residence for the king and queen, and then it kept getting updated years and years past when it was originally built in the 1600s. Really impressive. It kind of reminds me of like the Palace of Versailles, the Baroquean, I think is what it's called, the architecture or the era. But now just headed to the Olympic Park, and it's actually closed for renovation for like the rest of the year. But I'm still gonna see the outside of it in the stadium, and I think the area is pretty cool. And then right beside that is the BMW Museum, so I'm gonna check those out.
Tried to run it back 100 times. The world is yours, but the city's mine. Can't believe you put it on your mother's life. I can't believe you told me it was ride or die. Cause you're not here, somehow you're still alive. True enough, I knew you from the other side. I set my expectations way too high.
So honestly, like, I had to go because I was really close, and you know, BMW is pretty famous, and so is the museum, but I'm just not a car guy, and I just do not care about cars and engines and like stuff like that. So I just kind of got in, got out, looked at the cars, I guess. Wasn't really my thing, but I'm glad I went anyway. Now I'm actually in what's called the English Garden. So it's like this massive, I've kind of unintentionally done a lot of nature today. I guess it's just kind of ingrained into the city, which is really cool. It's definitely different than, you know, when I look at videos in the late spring or summer where all the trees have leaves and everyone's like out and about, tanning, jumping in the lake, surfing that wave thing that it's like a river that goes to this park. But here now, I mean, it's not quite warm yet. It's like low 40s. So, I mean, I'm kind of cold. I should have packed more warm clothes. But yeah, I'm actually headed to this girl that I met yesterday. She texted me, and she invited me to like go meet her in the park. There are like these beer gardens, which is just basically like a ton of open seating outside in the park, and people go and get a beer, I guess. And so I guess I'm going to do that right now. Not really sure what to expect, but it should be fun. And then we'll probably grab dinner after. I'm kind of already hungry, but gonna do this and just gonna kind of see. This is called like the Chinese Tower, which is a big monument that was built in this park, and a beer garden all around it. So kind of hyped to check it out. So we'll see.
Während direkt vor mir die Sonne untergeht, hab mir schon dreimal die Haare gefärbt, Flüge gebucht und die Sprache gelernt. Postkartenblick, schöner geht's gar nicht mehr.
Something makes me turn around and stay, and I can't tell you why. When we get crazy, it just ain't right. Keep your head. Girl, I get lonely too. You don't have to worry, just hold on tight. Caught in your little world. 'Cause I
All right, so it's the next day. Obviously, just kind of forgot about my phone last night, but I did get an authentic German experience, to say the least. But yeah, when it came to the beer too, that was my first time trying like real German beer. I think the best beer I've ever tasted. And if I do drink sometimes, I will drink beer. So I needed to see what that was all about. But definitely like the summer is the best time to come. I mean, to a lot of places the best time, but especially in Munich, because those fields that we were in, like the beer garden, in the park and everything, apparently what she was telling me is that they're completely filled out. You can't even get like a seat on the grass in the entire park, and the beer garden is just full. And then obviously, like you saw, it was just kind of empty because it's cold and it's like winter. So it's just completely different times with the seasons, but still really cool nonetheless. I really like the culture here. It's very, people are very true to themselves. Sometimes they're very direct, but also nice from what I've seen. And maybe it's just because they think I'm German. At least the girl last night was telling me that she wouldn't have known that I wasn't German, just looking at me based on like my outfit or just me in general. So I'll take it as a compliment. But yeah, like people speak to me first in German. I haven't experienced that anywhere else where I've traveled so far, really like in the world, where everyone just assumes I'm German for some reason. But today I've really spent the day exploring more of like the residential and local side of things. I feel like I did all the touristy things there are to do really. And so now I've been kind of wandering around these neighborhoods. This one is called Heidhausen. which is kind of close to where I was staying anyway. And I really love it. It's Sunday afternoon here, and everyone's kind of out and about in cafes, and obviously blessed with like nice sunny weather. So it's really been a great experience, and I'm really happy I spent all of my weekend here in Munich instead of trying to run around and see other parts of the area, which would have been cool as well. But now I really feel like I know Munich a lot better, having spent like 3.5 days here. And so yeah, I'm really happy with it. I've definitely been spamming pretzels as well, just because everyone I try is slightly different in like my experience, and so I've really kind of become addicted to them. But again, like you saw, like also getting like those schnitzels every time I go to lunch because they're just so good. And usually it comes with like potatoes. It's really just like pork or veal, and then kind of breaded and fried, and that's like signature, Bavarian cuisine. Obviously there's much more to it, but I really do like it, and so that's what I've been going back to every time. I do put a lot of effort, well, a decent amount of effort in listening to recommendations and doing my own research and making sure I'm going to like local places. Like every place I've been to has been, I'm the only one speaking English in there, and they're very like local, authentic places instead of just around the touristy areas. And sometimes that requires an extra walk or going into less, more residential areas. But I enjoy that part of the process, and that's how you're gonna get the best food. Obviously, is where all the locals are eating. So that's something that I make an effort of. When you first start kind of doing that too, I notice you're gonna feel out of place a little bit, especially once you start speaking English, and they're like, oh, like this guy's not from here, and sometimes I have to be extra nice because they just sometimes kind of will dismiss you a little bit, or not be rude, but it's just a different vibe. And so like once they figure out that you're a tourist essentially, so you have to kind of get past that barrier, and it's just something you have to experience when you want to avoid touristy places. But overall, I felt like they've been very receptive and nice, so it's been great. As Hitler started to gain traction in the 1930s, he actually would go to all these beer halls and beer gardens, like the one I just went to and ate again at. And he would kind of have these speeches, and he would build a following. And at that exact one is where it was actually bombed. Someone tried to plant a bomb to kill him, and it was just by some of his own luck that he actually left just like shortly before the bomb went off for some reason. And so he avoided getting killed. But it's really cool history because that's where he literally spoke and gained his following. That was like his first big major speech was in that beer hall. So back in the streets of Madrid, just got here, it's a bit late, Sunday night, and just overall, really happy with the trip. Definitely the most unique place that I've been, culture-wise, so far, while being abroad. But yeah, really happy about it. But yeah, pretty sure that's the last solo trip I'll go on. But yeah, really glad I did some of these, especially since I kind of came here on my own. But from now on, I got friends coming, and then going to see family friends all across Europe, like Italy, Slovakia, Austria, other parts of Spain, so France. So maybe I'll make like some videos with boys or with my brothers who are also coming, and see how that goes. Maybe that'll be fun. But yeah, peace out.